Hi friends, this is Sanjay Parihar. I'm a technologist and I'm from Houston, Texas. Um, as we mentioned earlier, that we will be talking to very notable faces from the tech industry, and here we are with Mr. Mahesh Yadav who is the CEO and founder of OPTIMA Global Solution. Thank you, Mahesh, for joining us. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Sanjay. Nice to be here.
And here's my friend, Mr. Anand. Thank you, Anand, for joining this call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you.
And as we know that Anand and I both are technologists and we love technology. And this is a very interesting time as if we talk about for the entire world. There is a certain interesting point. While we will talk about that later, the most interesting thing, Mr. Mahesh, I want to talk about you. And when I see your LinkedIn profile, of course, the founder and CEO of OPTIMA Global Solution. Also, you served as a board member of the New Jersey Technology Council. Very passionate golfer, and you are a founder of Saga as well. Then you also is an angel investor in very early stage and growth-oriented startup from US and India, I believe. There's many things, many activities which has been. It's very interesting, very inspiring for every one of us. Could you share some insight about your journey? It is a very passionate journey, and managing all those 4 or 5 different things, it's a challenge. How do you do that?
Well, I think all I can say is basically it's happened over multiple years of time, right? It's been a long journey. I think after you said what you said, it feels like God, I've been around for a long time, and it's not necessarily how should I say, encouraging, but it feels like basically, okay, you're really getting old, and basically, you've done a lot of things in your life, but at the same time, you're running out of time. So the more important thing is basically trying to figure out whether during your journey, whether you spent your time by adding value, not only yourself, but people that surround you, whether it is in your colleagues, your employees, your staff, your partners, your business partners, as well as your friends and family. So in a nutshell, I think you touched upon a lot of areas, and obviously they didn't happen simultaneously at one time, but over a period of time, and I started getting involved in various types of things. So from a journey perspective, I can say that basically it's been pretty interesting. I wouldn't say that I planned everything. In fact, I didn't plan anything at all. And some of my friends growing up used to call me an opportunist. And what that meant was basically if I saw some good opportunity, I used to make sure that I give it my best, I latch onto it, and try to make something out of it. And I don't know if I'm a very good planner, but I definitely know that basically, if I see an opportunity, I give it all my best, and also make sure that basically I try and execute it well. So that's really been my DNA, if you will. So from a journey perspective, I would say that basically, just like most of us who have come to the US, I came to the US way back in 1993, which is almost 27 years ago now, and it's been a long journey. Before that, I grew up in Bombay and Lonavala, which is close to Bombay. Finished college, did my engineering, and basically got a job with Putney Computers, which was my first job. Fortunately for me, unlike most of the college graduates in those days, any engineering graduate who got absorbed by any of the software companies, they typically used to get hired for doing programming work. So basically, software programmers were basically very much high in demand, and they used to hire, off of these campus interviews, train them as software developers, programmers, and then basically get them on on-site projects, offshore projects, but the whole drill. I fortunately, or unfortunately, I don't know, but it worked out well for me. But at that time, I was the only person who actually got hired for sales and marketing in a software company, which was basically not the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And in those days, basically, I graduated from, I did my engineering from Sardar Patel College of Engineering in Andheri. And if you got accepted by one particular company, you couldn't appear or apply for any other companies in the campus interviews. So I was basically stuck. So even though I was a mechanical engineer, I ended up getting a job with Putney Computers. And also, unlike most of the software programmers that they were hiring, I was hired in sales and marketing for the domestic market. So it was not even a plan where basically I'm joining in software programming, so I'll get to go abroad and stuff like that. Coming to the US is always a dream, or has, at least at that point in time, every engineer would dream of going abroad, and especially US is to be the first option. For me, that was not necessarily a path that I was going after very aggressively. It was basically, oh, okay, that would be a great thing to accomplish someday. But coming onto the sales and marketing track for a domestic market was definitely not a route going to anywhere abroad in the first place. So I started selling hardware. Actually, we started selling at that point in time. There was a new line of products from Data General, which we were a collaborator of, and I started selling hardware, computers, mini computers. Those we used to call them. And slowly but steadily, I started building relationships. One of the senior executives who I used to report to in Putney moved out, and he joined a company called Hexaware Infosystems, used to be called that time. That was a startup. At that point in time, it started from scratch. And basically what he did, obviously, was basically brought me in as a sales rep, as one of the first sales reps. So I was one of the founding team members, not a founder. Founding team members of a team of Hexaware Technologies, which today, we all know what that company is all about. So I joined them when we were not even in a proper office. We were in folding tables and chairs, and the office was being, getting ready as we speak. It was very well funded. It was a subsidiary of Aptech, so it was not money was not an issue. However, it was starting from scratch as a startup for doing software exports and offshore development. So I got the opportunity to start selling software services, and basically I was given the US market. So that was my big break, and it was thanks to my previous boss and senior executive who moved there and kind of gave me that opportunity based on whatever he saw in me at that time. But anyway, I was very young. I was in my low 20s. So it was, and the job was in SEEPS in Bombay.
SEEPS, I know.
Bombay is one of the best days. A lot of fun, a lot of vibrant energy and environment. And, basically sitting there working with US customers, trying to, sell software services. We used to call it a lot of, the term used to be body shopping, selling software resources to the US and the likes. And a couple of, I think I was there for about a year and a half or 2 years. And the company decided that basically we need to really have a physical presence in the US. So since I was performing extremely well and I had good relationships established with some of the US customers / partners from there, and I was young, no baggage. Basically I could just pick up a small bag and go. I was deputed to the US to start up US operations for Hexaware. So that was my ticket to the US. That was my first overseas trip. I came to the US. I started the US operations from scratch. It was a one-man show. In those days, if you set up an office in the US, you had to watch every penny, every dollar. And I basically, right from managing the guest house with people that used to bring from India to be placed on different projects, all the way to managing the office, the payroll, picking up and dropping off of resources and consultants and employees from the airports, taking them to interviews. It was a lot of fun times. I was enjoying it. As I said, I was only in my mid-20s when I got here. So a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. I just wanted to learn as much as I could and whatever I could get my hands on. Business was great. Those were the mid-90s. I came here in 1993. And those were the best times that the US economy had seen, and also the Indian IT industry had seen, at least in those days. So that was a journey. I spent about almost 6 years with Hexaware. So that was my second job after my school. So I worked with them. We moved to New Jersey for setting up a bigger office. Started building a team. We had we had started growing pretty significantly, and with growth, there are challenges that come. You know, the company started growing, and there were a lot of senior people that started coming on board, and I definitely learned a lot. I think that was one of the best experiences that I got in terms of everything that I was doing was hands-on. I wasn't. There was no manager on top of me. There was nobody that I was managing, so it was pretty much a one-man show for a while. And then as the team started growing, as the team became a little bit more heavy on top, politics started happening. Basically, I was losing the fun that I was having in terms of just getting the job done or just focusing on work. There were other things that started coming into picture, and I wasn't ready for that. Plus, my age was my biggest enemy at that point in time, because I was looking to grow in my career. I wanted more responsibilities. I wanted to not be just doing the same thing over and over again. I was being considered as a young person.
Young person. Yeah.
So and if I'm going to be, if I'm the top salesperson, nobody wanted to touch me or distract me or take me away from doing what I was doing best.
Right.
So those were the things that was kind of hurting my growth, which I felt at that point in time. I had the best time, best support in all respect, but I felt that basically, I needed to do something more here. And at that point in time, I got an opportunity to work with another startup company, a company called Novasoft Information Technology. So it was a startup. I decided to take the leap. I moved to that company and basically started everything from the ground up. We grew almost like 300 percentage point year on year for the next 5 years that I was with them. I spent about 6 years of my time with them. I joined them as as vice president of sales and marketing, and when I finished my 6-year stint with them, I was the chief operating officer. But more importantly, we had become close to a $25-30 million company with about 300-400 people between Singapore, US, UK, and India. And it was a great journey. Again, I had the opportunity to kind of run the organization right from sales and marketing to operations to delivery, and we were able to catch the 90s wave. So again, the time came when basically the owner of the company wanted to kind of get the company sold, and we got acquired by one of the KK Birla Group companies. And basically at that time, I decided that basically now it is time for me to make my next move, where I've already done startup opportunities or startup kind of endeavors with 2 other companies. The third one is going to be for myself. And so basically I made that decision. I started my company. In fact, August 1st was our 19th anniversary of the company. So just completed 19 years in business. Little did I know that basically when I made that move, my wife, who was a stay-home mom, she was pregnant with my second child, and I incorporated the company in August, but I wanted to take a month off just to relax and decide that, okay, once I took a break, because it was a pretty hectic journey till that time. It was all work, and wanted to spend some time with family. So right after Labor Day, we kicked off the operations, and in less than a week's time, 9/11 happened. So so it was a very, very difficult situation for me to comprehend that basically just when I thought that basically, okay, I got all my ducks in a row, I've saved some money, I have my family's support, and basically, it's time for me to just now focus on my own enterprise. That situation was not something that I or anybody would have expected. So that kind of definitely put a lot of stress on me and my family in the beginning. And you all know that when that happened, for a good 4 to 6 months, that was pretty much the entire 2001 year, rest of the year, you couldn't really call for making any business happen. It was really not the right thing to do to call anybody for business. because everybody was in a mourning stage and everybody was just basically staying status quo and not really doing anything with respect to new business development. So I managed to kind of stay positive, kept myself going, and basically after that we also encountered the 2008 recession. So so in the 19 years that we've been, I think we've seen enough up and down, and managed to hang in there. The one thing that I wanted to make sure was throughout that period of time, I was not going to be just limiting the company or myself in doing just one type of thing, but I wanted to explore and make sure that basically we build value into the organization and not just revenue or bottom line. So value building has been the key component of my endeavor, and that's what I kept focusing on, and that's how I've been able to kind of still sustain and keep the company alive, as well as grow the organization to the point where we feel that basically we have a pretty established brand name right now in the segment that we operate in. We started purely as a staff aug services company, and basically over a period of time we tried various things, whether they were offshore development services, web development services, whether they were just pure projects based services, and everything was getting commoditized pretty quickly because offshore was getting more common. There were a lot more big players who were willing to do small projects, so we were always challenged with that. Staffing business was something which I always wanted to focus on, only purely based on value and premium quality services, and not on the volume game. We stayed away from being an H-1B dependent company, so we never adopted that model, even though that was something that I was extremely well familiar with. But that's the model that we were always exploring and working with when I was with Hexaware as well as with Novasoft. But I wanted to change that model. I wanted to be more customer centric and not reactive but proactive, and wanted to make sure that basically we work directly with customers and help them with what they need as opposed to provide them with what we have. So that was a major change and shift, and that's where I think we have had long-standing customer relationships, which is one of the reasons where through all these ups and downs, our customers have stayed with us, and they have relied and trusted us in the value what we provide, even though we always see there are other bigger entities and other corporations around there to provide them less expensive services and resources. They still kind of count on what we provide and have a differentiator created there. So 8 years ago, 7-8 years ago, actually, what we started doing was basically, we knew that basically we had explored areas where it was getting commoditized very quickly, whether it is offshore services, whether it is staff aug, obviously, and whether it is even just any other consulting type of services, if you will. So we started focusing our energies and area in building solutions and productizing them. So that's where we realized that basically that is an area where we can try to create a difference in what we have to offer as a solution, as a service from an organization which has been there for some time. So automation was the area that we chose, and we've been. Again, as I said, it was not planned. We tried it, and it worked. So the good thing is basically in the automation side of things, again, we started more on the services side of things, but eventually we started building solutions, and then we productized it. So now we have software. We have 4 different software products which automate business processes and specifically financial processes. So, and we sell them as software products as licensed software, which are not only implemented on-prem, but they are also available in the cloud as a SaaS model. So that has really created a big change in the company's offering. So we now have 2 divisions. One is the software consulting services division, and then the other one is the automation products and solutions division. And that's where we have landed up right now. COVID has presented its challenges, but also at the same time, we are seeing a lot of opportunities that have been coming in our direction, for the simple reason that majority of the enterprise customers or enterprise clients that have been kind of putting the automation of the business processes on the back burner or on the sideline have started very aggressively exploring that and bringing that on board. And especially if there are products or solutions out there which are a lot more faster to implement and have a lot more flexibility in the way they can get configured in a customer environment, those are definitely creating a lot of traction. We have that's one of our specialization is our products are ERP agnostics or platform agnostic in the sense we are able to integrate with multiple ERPs. We have the ability to configure them very fast because it's a no-code, low-code platform.
Okay.
We are not sitting and writing code, so our implementation lifecycle is very, very short and quick and fast. And that's really created a lot of traction for our automation division, and we are seeing significant amount of growth and deal closings happening even during this time. Which has been something which was not something that basically I expected to happen so quickly. But we're getting very, very reputed company logos on our portfolio now as a result of that. And the idea is to basically keep building value as we continue on this high growth mode. That's what we are calling ourselves right now. We are in a high growth mode at this point in time. And basically, the objective and the idea is over the next 5 years' time, all the key stakeholders in the organization. When I say key stakeholders, I'm talking about our employees, our advisory board members, our board members, to make sure that basically we have an exciting upside and reward opportunity when we reach some of the goals that we are setting for ourselves. So there is basically something that we can share and feel rewarded and get something in return for putting all the certain effort that is being going on over the years. And one thing I've always focused on, again, this is something that would be a bonus for everybody, obviously, because we want to make sure that the philosophy that I've always inculcated in my environment, in my organization, in my team, has been that basically we need to enjoy the journey. It's important to be very, very focused on making sure that basically the days that we spend are enjoyable. There are going to be difficult days. Don't get me wrong. There are going to be up and down and difficult days and challenging days and stressful days and all that. But at the end of the day, it has to be an environment where people are trusting of each other, they can depend on each other, and they enjoy working with each other. So we are a very, very apolitical environment, very transparent organization is what I like to keep it as. Anybody can ask me any question. I share all kinds of information with them on a regular basis, whether it is financial information on a quarterly basis. I report to them on our quarterly meetings, as well as what plans we have for the company, what is good, what is bad, our regular monthly staff meetings that we have. I share the good news, I share the bad news. So just like everybody else has been experiencing during these COVID days, there are difficult decisions people have to make, companies have to make. So we have made sure that basically whatever decisions we have made by taking inputs from everybody and making sure that we are trying to take it as a team. And an example would be that basically we said that basically, okay, we are going to take a small cut of compensation. It's not going to be 1 or 2 people. It's going to be across the board. So that basically everybody is contributing. Everybody feels that basically, yes, this is something that is required for the organization. And I have done a 10% cut across the board. And the most important thing that I have done is I have promised them that basically at the end of the year, if we break even, and if we make any money over and above the break even, then basically we will reinstate the first goal is to reinstate them back to the original salary, number one. And second is basically any additional money that the company generates will be distributed amongst people based on whatever level of reduction that they have had to take during this time. So I think it's all about being able to share in the success and at the same time making sure that basically when there are difficult times, everybody is chipping in and everybody is making sure that basically we are contributing and it's not one person or the other, because it's a team effort. And without a strong team, you can't really get anywhere. So that's in a nutshell. I mean, that's a journey from a corporate perspective. I think we've been here 19 years. It feels like only yesterday, but it has been a long journey. And along the way, I mean, I think I need to ask about a few other things. So, being part of the board member of the New Jersey Tech Council, I've been involved with them right from the founding days of the Tech Council, which was in 1997. Long journey. It's just a way of giving back to the local tech community in New Jersey. Been involved with them. I try to help in whatever way I can. In kind, in supporting financially, sponsoring events and stuff like that. But more importantly, being able to be there as a tech community member and sharing with what we have experienced, and also going there and learning from other people's experiences. There's nothing better than finding out some of the things that without going through some of the troubles that somebody else has gone and able to get the sharing. So that's from a tech council perspective. It's been a great organization helping the tech community in New Jersey in various ways, and also boosting the tech economy with the local government, etc. Innovation is big on their radar right now. Other than that, I think you mentioned about the angel investment part is basically something which I started getting involved with. I think in the 2004-2005 time frame, when basically there were one of those years when the business was not looking too good outside, and I wanted to make sure that basically I wanted to make sure that basically I diversify my investment portfolio in areas where I could feel that there could be high returns. So that is from a financial interest perspective. But the most other important reason that I got involved in angel investing was from a learning aspect. I wanted to go and learn about what are the areas where investment is happening. What are the areas where basically innovation is happening? Which industry, which technology is really going into the forefront? Because if you just sit and focus on your own business, there are a lot of things that are happening outside. You may not necessarily get time and opportunity to learn by YouTube. Also, the most important thing I wanted to learn was basically what are the investors really look for in an organization. So it was basically a selfish motive in all respects, but at the same time, I felt very good about being able to contribute and help some of the startups and some of the entrepreneurs which had phenomenal ideas and may not have been as blessed or as lucky to have had some of the experiences that I or some of the other investors who have gone through the startup journeys and have gone through experiences which we can share with them and help them in different ways. So India was booming, so that's why I got involved with Mumbai Angels, and there's another VC fund, Kai Capital, which is actually one of the general partners is Sasha Mirchandani, who was the founder of Mumbai Angels. So based on the network, I got involved with that. And the Tech Council in New Jersey also has a Tech Council Venture Fund, so I'm involved with it as well. So the idea is to obviously, trying to give a little bit from a financial side to the community and to the tech entrepreneurs who are looking for investments, and also the ability to learn from them. So those are the things that kind of kept me involved in the investment world. Of course, I'm not a full-time investor, so I don't invest as much as most of the other investors may be investing, but I do my bit. As far as I think the last point you mentioned was about Saga, and Saga's South Asian Golf Association was something that I founded about 15 years ago, and it's been doing pretty well. It's an organization which promotes golf in the South Asian community, I mean, in a nutshell. And if you ask me the reason why I did it, I think a couple of things. One was basically I I wanted to learn golf, and I wanted to get involved in golf. And at that point in time, when I was looking at golf, I'm talking about late 1990s, 99 2000 time frame, when things were really good, and there was a lot of golf events happening, corporates, customers, a lot of golf opportunities, but I didn't know how to play golf. So it was something that I felt that basically I was losing out or missing out on opportunities to bond with clients, to take them out. One was the business development aspect of it, and the second was basically the integration of the ability to kind of talk the talk and walk the walk, and be able to kind of leverage those opportunities where you can spend quality time with prospects, clients, and whatnot. So that's why I took up. I started taking some lessons. I got to learn. But the biggest challenge I started facing was basically, now who do I play with? Because there was only a few people that I knew who played golf, and basically one was obviously even within the company, my professional relations or network, there were not that many golfers, let alone South Asian or Indian golfers. So everybody that in the social circle, especially from the Indian descent, I don't think I knew anybody who actually played golf. So that was becoming very interesting discovery. Then when I started finding people who actually play golf, who were from our community, they were far and few, and they were like completely all over the place, in the sense like they were nowhere close by to kind of even try to plan something. So that really triggered my mind, saying that basically, what, getting into golf, one, is basically very intimidating if you don't know the sport, number one. Number two is basically, if you want to get into it, unless you are in familiar territory with your friend, it becomes a lot more easier, or if at least known people, whether it is work professionally or it makes it a lot more easier. So that's where I felt that basically, why don't I create something where I can not only encourage people to come into it, but also create a platform where we can provide them the opportunity, if they are interested in getting into golf. We can provide them some golf training, golf clinics, and also a comfortable setting where they can come and play with individuals without getting intimidated. So that is how the whole thing started. But now it has reached a point where I think we just have been able to put together some phenomenal golfers, and we have some really, really solid golfers. So now there are less people coming to get trained, but more people coming here to compete. So it has become a competitive kind of entity, but we are still kind of keeping focus on encouraging new members. Encouraging the youth has become another thing, where we are encouraging kids from high school level all the way to college level to come and participate in events. We've also started something called as a Saga Junior College Scholarship since last year, which we are providing to the youth who are becoming incoming freshmen to college, but have been involved in golf in high school and showed some kind of interest in that. And we've been able to identify some really, really solid golf players among some of these teenagers that we've seen. So it's been a very exciting journey. We've got support from United Healthcare and some other large enterprise sponsors who have supported us. It's been more a kind of a hobby project, if you will, but also feels good that we've been able to provide that as a service to the community. We stay focused on golf, and basically one of the other reasons that I felt should be helping and adding value to our South Asian community would be, one is the ability to get involved in it and also be able to comfortably go and attend the golf events that a lot of the corporate customers and formal organizations put in place. And they don't have to be really good golfers to be there. That is another big thing. A lot of people think that you have to be a super duper golfer to be going and playing golf. More important is your etiquettes and the ability to just make sure that you make your experience enjoyable and the people that you're playing with an enjoyable experience. That's what matters the most. And that's when you can really build some long-term relationships and friendships, because you are out there in a natural setting. and in a comfortable environment. And basically, you are not focusing on competing with the other person, but trying to focus on making sure that you kind of have a nice, enjoyable day out. And the other bigger reason is also it's one of the sports where I think you can play for a long time during your life. So if you really get onto enjoying the game, one is basically you can play for a long time without hurting your, your body parts as much as some of the as age progresses. A lot of us cannot really play tennis or cannot really play some of the other high impact sports like basketball or whatnot. Golf is something you can play for a long time. It's healthy. You get to walk, walk the course and be outdoors in a fresh environment. And if you are fortunate and get your kids involved, like both my kids play golf. My son's 18 and my daughter is 21. My son's actually was captain of his high school team. Now he's a freshman going to college this year. And my daughter, she actually won the Mercer County tournament when she was in high school. But long story short, since they both play golf, my daughter is a good golfer, but she doesn't love it. I said, I don't care if you don't love it. Once in a while, if you can go out and hang out with me for a few hours on the golf course, I'm very happy. My son, on the other hand, he loves it. He doesn't want to be competitive. He just wants to enjoy the round. So he gets out and plays. No other sport that I have been, always feeling that basically, throughout their schooling, every sport that they were involved with, most of the parents have to go and sit there and watch the
Right.
Right. This is one place where I actually can play with him, and enjoy myself and be with him, and basically completely have an exclusive kind of time. And that's been a blessing that I think at least I feel blessed about that opportunity. And a lot of families and a lot of my friends over here, also are enjoying that benefit. Whoever have, themselves involved in golf and their kids also. So that makes a lot of difference. So some of these things, and plus, more importantly, that as I said, age is no barrier. So even if I, 60, 70 years, my body is good enough, and if I'm playing, my son's going to be maybe 20, 25 years younger than me, and he'll still play with me. That'll be awesome. Because I belong to a club here, and I see a lot of father sons go and play on a regular basis, and they are, they are still able to spend some time together. So anyway, that's my passion as far as the game is concerned. But I didn't want it to kind of just keep it to myself. I wanted to share it, and I felt that would be the best way to share my passion and be able to at least, as I said, adding value to myself, but also trying to add value to people who surround me and family and friends and cousins and stuff. So that's really been my journey. Again, it's not over yet. It's a long time.
It is
still there. But as I said, my focus is on making sure that my journey is enjoyable. It's not dependent on a milestone or a criteria for success. I want it to be a successful journey by making sure that I'm surrounded with the right people. I make sure that basically the people around me are also enjoying. It's not just me looking for achieving something for myself.
Great.
So I think I had a pretty long monologue here, but I think it was a good feeling to share some of these things.
Great insight. I mean, this is certainly great. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, Mahesh, we also wanted to see like what future planning or exciting things you're looking at in OPTIMA Global Solutions. Like you said, products like on a high level automation. So if you can like elaborate for the young entrepreneurs, where people are actually joining this IT, they may get. The automation is one of the things which Sanjay and me have been involved. Sanjay being a blockchain expert and I'm involved in AI. So if you can just give some ideas around those, and your 4 products also on a high level, how did you venture into that, and what is the future around it, so that people can learn and listen to you on a high level?
Sure. Yeah. So I think there is there is a lot of focus and push on innovation. Everybody talks about innovation, and basically it's like, what's the next biggest and brightest idea that people can come up with, which is going to become the the unicorn or the multi-billion-dollar success. I don't have the DNA, so I think I'm not somebody who felt that basically I have to create something which is going to be extremely unique or innovative, and that's not my DNA. I think my DNA was more about basically how can I be innovative to make something which is already there but make it better, and basically leverage on the experience and the expertise that is there, but basically make sure that basically keep adding value, keep making it more attractive, make it more exciting, make it more better, and and keep things moving in that direction. So I think that is what has really been one of the things which resulted in the automation side of things. I mean, as I said, I was trying different things in terms of how do I be innovative within the company to kind of move the company from doing purely a staff org to maybe projects based or solutions based, fixed price projects, and the whole. I mean, tried different things, right? And some worked. I mean, we never really were not successful, but they were never really areas which made us feel that basically, okay, we've got that opportunity now. We got into that area which is going to give us a high trajectory. So we again, during this same exercise of trying different aspects, we started focusing on the business process management platform technology and services offering. And the BPM technology platform is where we started getting a little bit more involved with traction, and we started building expertise. And when we started doing that, we realized that basically we have the ability to kind of build some repetitive solutions on the same platform technology. We are actually platinum partners with a company called Kofax. Mm-hmm. They have an intelligent automation platform which we leverage as our baseline. So that provides you with capture technology, which is mobile capture, as well as OCR technology, as well as the workflow engine. It also has the robotic process automation module available, as well as the analytics and integration. So the entire platform end-to-end is what we leverage to build our repeatable products. So what happens in then basically is the ability for us to provide one-point solution. An example is we have built Transcend AP, which is an accounts payable automation solution. So that product, when we implement that solution, that's a one-point solution, but the customer has already bought this underlying platform from us. So after we build that one-point solution, we can actually leverage the same platform to automate their other business processes. So we have expense management solutions. We can offer this. So they don't have to keep buying different products from different areas and then try to figure out how the hell do you integrate them together. So here you have the ability to land and expand. So you go there with one-point solution, and the customer or the enterprise can actually leverage that same technology platform by automating their HR onboarding process, their sales order processing, their AR, their AP, their expense, their supplier portal onboarding, and many other. So since there are so many business processes, we've started building repeatable solutions one at a time. So our AP, Transcend AP, has the biggest footprint right now, and then we have the vendor portal and the other products that we have. So slowly but steadily, we'll be able to build multiple products which can basically leverage that one intelligent solution, intelligent automation product. So what I'm trying to say is basically so that we, again, as I said, it was more opportunistic. When we saw that basically, okay, customers loved what we built for them on an AP custom application, we leveraged that and basically built repeatable product. And now basically we are providing them as a software product as opposed to custom solution. So we are able to provide them support. We are able to put them on a cloud as a subscription model, and so my suggestion or my advice to whoever is looking at startup journey or the young entrepreneurs who are looking at doing something new and significant is that basically innovation opportunities are in various levels, and it's not necessary that it has to be something that nobody has ever done it before. It obviously can be something which which other people have done it, but you can try and figure out if there is a better way to do the same thing or leverage on top of that. So, the case in point was we were actually purely a platform reseller for Kofax and implementing and customizing, building custom applications on top of that. Now, with we having products sitting on top of that platform, we've become a very, very high value partner for Kofax as a company. So they love us because most of the other partners, they don't want to invest their time and money building products on this solution. They want to just implement, do services, and get out, or keep building custom applications or custom solutions. So we made that kind of a change in our way of thinking. So that's why we have a services division, but this is purely a product mindset division. It's difficult change to make, but we managed to make it, and that's really, I would say that was our innovation for ourselves. So so you have to innovate within yourself and not necessarily what's going on outside. I mean, if you have the ability to kind of keep reinventing yourself, keep looking at things differently, keep doing something better than what you have done it before, just like in the game of golf. If you see the picture in the back, it says that basically in golf, the most feared opponent is you yourself. So what it means is basically, how can you beat yourself? Can you do better next time you do the thing? So that's really the critical aspect, according to me, in life. Basically, don't stop learning something new, and at the same time, don't stop when you think that you've done something good. Try to see if you can make it better. And that's really what is going to keep you your mindset innovative, and also will keep you driving towards being not only a better entrepreneur, but also a better person.
Absolutely. That's certainly great and inspiring. As Anand just mentioned, that automation and AI and something around, things are changing. So products are changing, but it is also changing the customer mindset. So I'm sure that you must be seeing a lot of customer requesting pattern is different from earlier now, right? I mean, that pattern is changing over the period of time because of this AI. They are getting equipped with more AI and automation knowledge right now. So that request pattern should be changing. So yeah, could you share some light on that? How that pattern is changing?
I think customers are becoming more impatient. Want things to get done fast.
Yeah.
Also, I think the expectations are much higher from vendors, from solutions, from products. The expectation level has definitely gone up. Also, I would say that basically there is definitely a major push to get things automated. And when I say get things automated, it's not like the automation is not there. But as we all know, over the last 10 years, we've always heard about digital transformation, automation. It's all the same words, but there are more better technology that keeps going. So the automation goes to the next level. So that is always going to be the trend. And what I also can tell you is basically there is just so much work still out there to be done, to be completed, because the kind of opportunity that we are in front of, and we are talking about, we cater to the mid market, like enterprises which are anywhere in about $1 billion to $4 billion, $5 billion revenue range. So these are pretty decent sized enterprise customers, and the amount of stuff that they are still doing manually is just mind-boggling. So what I'm trying to say is basically there is still a ton of paper to be eliminated. There is still a ton of manual data to be eliminated, and the opportunities are huge. What is definitely happening right now is, because of the COVID situation, because of the remote, work environment that people are set up and forced to do, companies are going to becoming forced to push that envelope sooner than later. And that's really driving a lot of activity in terms of exploring, what are the things that they have to automate right away, what are the things that they can wait. It is some of our customers, that share, things very honestly with us. They are cutting costs in a lot of areas, but at the same time, they're looking at this as an investment that they have to make. And I mean, basically, things are definitely moving in that direction as far as we're concerned. And as I said, there's a lot more opportunities, but at the same time, customers are demanding. They want things to be implemented fast. They want to make sure that basically they get everything that they want in the product and in the solution. So it's interesting times. So the expectations are high, and whichever product or solutions will deliver them to the best possible extent are going to have no issues in terms of keeping on closing those deals.
Well,
What is the Mahesh? What is the largest impact you think in this? Because I feel like whenever I talk to my clients and all that, they keep saying actually they're going to reduce the real estate. This code is going to like shrink the whole world into communication has become so important. What do you see this whole things changes like a landscape in IT landscape changing over a period, which these young IT people can understand more in this environment, because those who are like passing out now or next year actually in challenges, if you can share something which you're seeing, the drastic changes which are happening in the landscape.
I think tech sector, tech workforce, I think is only going to get benefited as far as I see it. And the reason for that is because now suddenly there is no barrier to entry, right? I mean, just in case, just a small example, there were clients who would always force that you need to be local, you need to really come to meet in person,
Right.
or they don't care where you are anymore if you can deliver what you're supposed to deliver. People are more open, companies are more open to kind of provide the opportunity or talk to you no matter where you are in the world anymore, right? So that's definitely opens a whole different aspect of opportunities. I think that's the biggest thing that's going to happen. Is it completely changes the mental block of we have to see you in person, we have to you have to be close by to deliver these things and so on and so forth. It will again depend on job to job, but more importantly, I think from a tech workforce, more than not, it's going to benefit from that aspect. From a delivery perspective, from an individual perspective, if you are in the tech world and if you are providing services, you are looking for jobs, I think again it's a much bigger opportunity now. I mean, you're not restricted to only look at a job or an opportunity in your backyard or in your own country anymore. You can actually now look for opportunities anywhere in the world, because you can definitely deliver it from wherever you can. So you need to be definitely much better, have a better setup at home, one, and two, that infrastructure has to be there. And the only thing is, again, mentally, I think everybody is set up different. I mean, I don't think I personally would like to work from home 24/7. But there are individuals who are more productive from home. I'm fortunate that my office is just 5 minutes away, so I can pop in anytime I want. Productivity, for most of the individuals will go up because they will not be spending hours and hours in traveling and commuting. So a lot of the organizations that I have been talking to are saying that basically, you know what, I don't think we need people to come in 5 days a week anymore. If they can get the job done, they can spend more quality time at home. If they can be more productive, spend more quality time with families, have a better work-life balance, that's definitely going to get encouraged. And I think it's all in all, it's again, it's personal preference to a lot of individuals from a business perspective. A lot of the companies, bigger organizations, smaller organizations, they are going to try and use this experience or learning to try and reduce their fixed costs. So, if you don't have to have a huge office, you're not going to have that. Because they know that they don't need that anymore as they have. If they can do certain things remotely now, they will do that. And the infrastructure has been able to hold up. So the in-person thing, I don't think it is going to just completely go away when things come back to whatever normal you want to call it, because at the end of the day, we are human beings, we are social animals, and we need that interaction, we need that collaboration in person as much as we can deny it. But overall, it's definitely going to be a shift. How much, only time will tell. Because even with a little bit of easing up on the restrictions, you see the beaches, the way they get crowded, they get filled. So, no matter how much we will say that basically, hey, I'm more productive working from home, but I'm sure there is going to be a burnout time, and people would want to get to the office once in a while, if not every day. So it's anybody's guess right now, but definitely there is definitely going to be a shift. But I think it's for the better. It's just that I personally don't want to be working from home all the time, and I'm sure there are quite a few out there who want to not be at home all the time. Yeah, flexibility is going to be good, and for some individuals, they need to be working from home for whatever reasons, and that's fine, as long as now the mindset is you can get the work done. That's more important than
right. And on that line, basically, if you look into the cloud and AI and a lot of automation, the team size is kind of shrinking right now. It sounds like if we compare with the team size, right? So with this team, how is the IT company's future looks like? Because team is more cohesive. I mean, whether they are working co-located or not, but team size is shrinking. And how the team size in future looks like? Is it how it will be?
I don't know that answer to that. Frankly speaking, I can just say based on our own experience. I mean, I've been in the IT services industry for almost 30 years, and we've been able to, the automation division, we've been having a very small team because of the technology, the changes in technology that happen. Right? For our solutions to implement multiple solutions, multiple customers, multiple projects at a time, we just need a handful of resources. We don't need an army of people the way it used to be required for traditional application development projects or even traditional software product implementations. It's a much more faster implementation life cycles now. What's definitely going to happen is basically maybe the skills that are required is going to change. And that's the shift that is going to happen. So I think you would still need, people. It's just that you need different kind of resources, different skills that you would need to bring on board. And that's where I think the shift is going to happen. For most of the other things, whatever can get outsourced or based on cloud-based services that people can acquire, they will do that. But from a hiring perspective or building teams perspective, it's still going to be hiring going on. It's just that basically type of skills is going to vary, and for every company, it's going to be a different requirement, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
So Sanjay, it's 8.
Yeah. So while we are about to wrap up our conversation, the last question is something. What is your message to young entrepreneurs as such?
My message to young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yeah, they're listening and
they're listening. They will be
inspired.
like Anand mentioned, yeah. So.
I think my message to young entrepreneurs is going to be that basically keep an open mind. Don't shy away from learning anything new. And no matter what if you think you believe in a certain idea or a certain venture or whatever, you have to give it your full. I know it's easier said than done, but I see a lot of entrepreneurs or a lot of individuals who want to do something. They do it with one leg here and one leg there. I mean, some of the examples are people who try to keep a job and then basically try to do something on the side. It's understandable that it's not everybody who can have the ability for whatever reasons to take huge risks. But at the same time, if you're not 100% invested and committed to something, the results are going to show. Right? So if you believe in something, if you like to do something, if you want to do something, one is basically you have to be 100% committed and dedicated to doing that. Second is basically try and get as much advice, as much support from anybody and everybody in your network, and find out whatever you can learn from their experiences and try to use that, as opposed to trying to learn everything with your own experience, because that can take forever, and there are a lot many resources and individuals with success stories and willingness available in this day and age right now, unlike when we started up, and which is something that we should definitely leverage. Plus, internet is such a huge resource, so definitely I would say that basically try and be open to advice. Take there's no risk, no reward, definitely. So you have to take a risk, and depending on what your capability and your ability of level of risk that you can take. And there is no success or failure in whatever you're going to try and do. Financially, maybe it may not give you something, but it's definitely going to give you an experience that nothing else can ever give you. So that learning and that experience is always going to be something that you will always gain no matter what you try and do. So those are the things that I would say that basically you have to be a perpetual learner. You have to make sure that basically you're open to taking advice, and you have to have full commitment and full dedication trying to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. And as I said, do it till the time you feel that basically you're done and you want to do something else. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So don't get demoralized or demotivated just because one idea didn't be successful. If you are an entrepreneur at heart, you're going to have to do multiple things so you can find that one big success.
Well,
so I think that's the key. And opportunities, you have to be an opportunist. You have to, if you feel that there is opportunity somewhere, you have to try and grab it. You can't wait around for somebody else to try and do that first, or somebody else to tell you that you should do it.
Oh. So with that inspirational note, we are wrapping up our conversation. It's certainly great, wonderful to have you in our show, and it's gonna be, I think, very much inspirational to our young entrepreneurs, our audience from different sectors. They're gonna learn from your experience, and it will be certainly serving a lot of people as a guiding light. So thank you very much, Mr. Mahesh, for sharing the insight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Yeah.
Good day.
Thank you.